I'm proud of New Yorkers who had the courage to tell the truth and the strength to stand together. That's what New York tough really means. To be tough enough to say, I love you, I care about you.
Well, that's New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo accepting an Emmy Award yesterday. The governor honored for the way he used television to provide leadership in the early weeks of the pandemic. But he's taking heat for a now rescinded nursing home policy that critics blame for thousands of COVID-19 deaths. And he's facing charges of hypocrisy for initially planning to spend Thanksgiving with his mother. Meanwhile, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is addressing video of him and his family being heckled while eating outside recently at a restaurant without masks. It comes as Murphy faces backlash over new COVID-19 restrictions. Joe Borelli is a New York City councilman. Joe, thanks for being here. First of all, New York Governor Cuomo, what do you think about the idea that he tells New Yorkers, hey, the way to show love is not to get together with your family for Thanksgiving, and then plan to get together with his family for Thanksgiving?
Well, it's frustrating to say the least, but I have to admit, John, that the governor's initial gut reaction was right. You know, Matilda Cuomo, his mother, is 89 years old. She has the right and she deserves to be with her son, the governor, and her grandchildren in the house where she spent 12 years with her husband when he was governor. But that would require a nuance to allow capacity limits or travel requirements that the governor has spoken out against. And that type of nuance he simply hasn't afforded to any other New Yorkers, as he sits there and dictates to us and treats us like children, as though we can't follow guidelines to make our Thanksgiving as safe as possible. It just underscores the general hypocrisy we see from our leaders, and it should be really, really, really frustrating to New Yorkers like me who want to see our families, who want to take reasonable precautions, but don't want to miss out on yet another opportunity to spend time with our loved ones.
Yeah, after telling New Yorkers that they should not get together with their families, here is what the governor's plan is, or maybe was.
The story is my mom is going to come up, and two of my girls is the current plan.
But then that got revised, and we got this from the governor's office, quote, as the governor said, he had been discussing seeing his mother with two of his daughters for a four-person Thanksgiving in accordance with all state-issued guidelines. But as he also said, the plans were still changing. Given the current circumstances with COVID, he will have to work through Thanksgiving and will not be seeing them. Don't tell his mom. She doesn't know yet. So it's because he's going to be working now that we are told that he's not going to be dining with his family members.
Right. Let's be clear. I mean, this was his plan. He admitted it himself, and it was only because he got inquiries from a number of different press outlets trying to find out why he would say something so hypocritical of what he had said only hours before in one of his daily press briefings. But this isn't the first time the governor's being hypocritical. I mean, this is someone who lives in a mansion at taxpayer expense with a few of his family members, and every single day there's police detail, his security, there are cooks, there are servants, there are cleaners, there are assistants. Those are all fine for Governor Cuomo in the governor's mansion, but he has just the gumption to dictate to us that we can have no more than 10 people. I actually have 11 people in my family, John, not 15, not 30, not 7, but 11. So it's frustrating for myself and people like me who are just forced to comply essentially with the governor's mandate, or risk being shamed or potential enforcement or whatever he plans on happening to those of us like me.
Right, and you'll have to figure out which 9% of your family members you can't invite to Thanksgiving dinner. Across the Hudson River in New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy, we showed the video earlier, was heckled after he was caught dining out without masks on. Here is his response to the heckling.
I don't condone out-of-bounds behavior, but I'm a big boy, and I think I speak for my wife, but let's leave my family out of this, number one. But number two, let's all keep each other in our prayers right now, because this is an extraordinarily stressful period that we're in.
That was very politically adept. He says, I don't condone out-of-bounds behavior, didn't take responsibility for what he was doing, says leave my family out of it, and then let's all keep each other in our prayers. All very nice stuff, but it doesn't address the central point. Joe.
No, look, and look, heckling someone's family was wrong when it was Sarah Sanders. It was wrong when it was Kristen Nielsen and others, and it's wrong here too. The woman was particularly nasty, but she is underscoring just the frustration that New Jersey residents have that they're continuously being put under lockdowns, that their businesses are suffering, while the governor, may take these kind of risks into his own hands. I mean, we see political hypocrisy from Speaker Pelosi, from Gavin Newsom, down to Mayor de Blasio, even trying to squeeze in a last bit of gym workouts before shutting down gyms. And people have come to expect it, and I think that undermines just the core 4 message, which is, be responsible and wear your mask and take some action to protect yourself. It undermines all of those when you see politicians acting hypocritically.
Joe Borelli, New York City Councilman. Joe, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.